Hey, okay, we're going to talk about some very interesting things today. At least they're interesting to me. This is okay. So Sue and I, we've done we've done two trips with Legacy Tours of Utah. Legacy Tours of Utah. It's a travel company, right? And many of you have gone on trips and had a company, whether it's Legacy or one of the others, and they take care of everything, and it's just awesome, and you get to see things. Well, I'll tell you, the trips that we've taken with Legacy. Now, look, I'm not getting paid for this, okay? This isn't a paid. I'll tell you if I get paid, to do something. I'm just telling you because I learned so many things. So the first one we did with them was England and Scotland, and it was the traditions of Christ. We've talked about it. Sue and I have talked about it. It was incredible. You visit sites, the traditions of Christ in ancient Great Britain. And the whole concept is amazing. And Mary Magdalene's tied with it. And it's so cool. It's so cool. And it rings true to me. And I've done so much more research since then. But going to, Glastonbury, going to and I'm just shooting off the hip memory here, but Stonehenge has always been on my bucket list. I'm telling you, it was the most incredible thing. And because our group was smaller, which Legacy Tours, that's kind of their thing, keep the group a little bit smaller. We were able to go to Stonehenge at like some ridiculous 6:37 in the morning. It was so awesome. And the fog, it was just magical. And we got to go into the stones. Now they asked us not to touch them, but we could, you can actually feel their energy. And some of you might think that's, out there a bit. Well, sorry. I'm not sorry. I felt the energy of the stones. I felt the energy of the place. The ley lines, the whole thing about it was so good. And this was part of the tour. Now, we had Chris Kimball as our guide. You have a local guy, David, who is probably one of the nicest individuals I've ever been around, and he kind of was the tour director, if you will. But Chris brought the knowledge and the understanding of each place we went to. The Salisbury Cathedral, the Ely Cathedral. These are iconic. I didn't really understand all the things. We saw the one of the last copies of the Magna Carta. You have so plenty of time to. And you go to places that a lot of people just don't go, and you get a more of an esoteric understanding of things. So if that's your deal, if that's something that you're interested in, like I say, we've done two trips. We did that one last fall, England, Scotland. Oh gosh, I'll think of it here in a second, but. The different places you go, it's a purposeful trip. It's not just go sightseeing. We're looking at different traditions and different aspects of that tradition and tying it in to an LDS mindset, if you will. So generally speaking, you'll have like-minded people. Rosslyn Chapel is where I was thinking of. That's kind of where you end. Now, along these lines, these places are significant to the Knights Templar as well, which ties into everything. There's a reason for these sacred sites. Well, last spring, we kind of continued this and sort of going in reverse. So as far as the initiation and the sites that the Knights Templar, they had 7 sites of initiation. The last one was the Rosslyn Chapel outside of Edinburgh, Scotland, made famous by the Dan Brown books, right? So last spring, we went to southern France, and this was more specifically focused on Mary Magdalene, Joseph of Arimathea as well, and some of the early disciples, how the legend and the tradition, as how I like to word it, is that they were there's basically two versions, but one is because they were disciples of Christ, they were banished basically from Israel, and they probably left the port of Joppa on the Mediterranean coast of Israel, and they were sent out without oar or sail and just adrift. That's one legend. The other one is that they escaped and they left and they knew exactly where they were going. I lean more towards that, but they landed on the southern coast of France on the Mediterranean. So the Maitor was that, and there's this old church right on the Mediterranean that's basically dedicated to Mary Magdalene. We learn about the Black Madonnas, where early Christians who still believed that Mary was married to Christ, but the Catholic Church was at Pope Gregory, I think, maybe, and he was like, we're not having any of that. That's where Mary Magdalene was made out to be, more of a, let's just say, a shady character, maybe. And really her discipleship to Christ was lessened under that. Well, many of the early Christians still believed in the tradition of Mary and Jesus being married. And the whole idea of the Holy Grail being offspring, right? The offspring of Christ. Well, the Black Madonna was a way for them to continue to honor, not worship, but honor Mary Magdalene by taking the Madonna or Mother Mary and shadowing her face, or that Mary Magdalene in the shadow, so that they could still get by the dominance of the Catholic Church and the leadership, and still acknowledge Mary Magdalene. So you have these some of these Black Madonnas that we got to see as we traveled, and you'll see just amazing places. Well, okay, now look again. I'm not getting paid for this, and Sue and I are going to be a paid customer, and this will complete customers. This will be the completion of these Knight Templar sites attached to the early Christian. So even previous to the Knights, but the Knights had a reason to do this. And we're actually going to go to Portugal with Legacy Tours. And we'd like any of you to come along, okay? That you want. Again, I'm not getting paid for this. This is something I'm so excited to do. So I'm just looking at the tour dates are April 24th through May 6th. And if you book before Saturday, by Saturday, this Saturday, which is, we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, we have Black Friday, and then that following Saturday. If you book, you get $100 off. So it's $3,800 instead of $3,900. And this is an amazing. They do an amazing job in taking care of their clientele. Legacy Tours does. So Chris is coming along with this. So this is actually the first station or the first initiation site of the Knights Templar. So they started in Portugal, went to France, moved to England, and then up to Scotland. And then they were worthy to take the trip to the Holy Land. And the Knights Templar get a bad rap these days, but in my studies, there's so much more good about these men, and so fascinating to study. And we also have the idea of them coming to America, which I'm sure Chris will talk about. So Chris will be there. So I'll put the link to Legacy Tours in the comment section. I'll pin it. But I want you to think about it, because I know travel's kind of, you think, oh, there's so much turmoil and so much stuff going on in the world. And, and you're right. You're right. And if you're uncomfortable with that kind of thing, this may not be for you. But typically Portugal it's actually, if you do any travel Google research, you'll see that Portugal is one of the hot spots in the world to travel. It's like for some reason it's become the thing. But we're going to see some amazing things. I would go through the itinerary, but I would butcher the names, and to be honest with you, I haven't done enough study on it yet. But I have learned so much and have had so many amazing spiritual experiences on these first 2 tours. I'm anxious to do this, and this will complete the traveling of the Knights Templar. Now, if this is your first trip, that's actually a good thing, because you'll actually be starting where the Knights Templar started, and all the traditions and why they went to certain places. You'll learn about ley lines. You'll learn about these sacred sites that had been venerated. And speaking of that word veneration, the Knights Templar have really been venerated, and their dedication to the land of Jerusalem and protecting pilgrims that wanted to make that. It's not only legendary, it's validated through historical records. Like any group or any honorable individuals, there's obviously some nefarious ones, but it's easy to attack people that are about doing good. Okay, now so Chris Kimball will be beyond that. Now they're also going to do the England-Scotland trip again. And I can't remember when they're doing that, but I'm thinking it's probably in the fall again, and they'll probably do France again in the spring. But I don't know that. But go to their website, check it out. If it's something you're remotely interested in, I'd put down a deposit, get you a spot, and you can contact them with questions and do everything. There's a video that you can see that they have about the itinerary and what's going on. But it's the Templar Traditions in Portugal with Chris Kimball. So check that out. And this is not a paid commercial. Can I say that again? Sue and I are going as paying customers. We're going to pay. We're going to go. And if it's something that you think would uplift your life, I would do it so fast. Now, I wasn't going to mention this, but I might. I probably will. In many of you know that I was to be a tour leader. Probably just finishing right now. It was scheduled to do Egypt, Israel, and then end in Jordan. An epic trip, but it got canceled because of the conflict in Israel. Right? Israel is always the focus on these trips. We're going to the Holy Land. We're going to be we're going to the Holy Land, or we were planning on it, and that was the chiasmus of the trip, was the center of it, the focus of it. But as long as you're in the Middle East, let's hit Egypt and then let's finish in Jordan. But that trip got canceled. Well, there's a possibility, and I'm not going to give you dates or anything, but a possibility in maybe, February, March, something like that we'd take through Legacy Tours. I would be the leader, and we would take a small group of adventurous individuals just to Israel. And we've talk to an Arab Christian bus driver who can get us into a lot of sites. It's, there's no guarantees in life. So if you're looking for a full guarantee that everything's going to go smooth, I can't guarantee that. But I will say that I would feel if the Israeli government says it's safe, it's safe. There's certain areas that may not be, but the places that we would want to go, the Galilee region, and then on south to Jerusalem, and then to the Negev, to the desert, to Masada and Qumran and that area. If that's of interest to you, will you leave a comment that you would be interested in a trip like that? Because I do, I want to get there, but people would have to understand that this is a small group, probably 10, 12, 14 people, something like that. And it would just be me and the bus driver and Legacy Tours kind of helping schedule the hotels and stuff like that. But we wouldn't have a tour leader per se, but I promise you I would give it my all. And I love Israel. I have a passion for Israel. I know things about sites. I would take a book to help me out, but I would love to pull this off. So if that's of interest to you, please leave it in the comment section that would be something. So it'd probably be, February-ish probably is when we try to pull it off. Now, so this just sounds like a big infomercial. So what? I don't care. It's awesome. And that one I would get I would be paid in the sense of I'm the tour leader. I'm in charge. I'm speaking and talking and I'm the guy. So that is a plug for me. The other one, Portugal, we're just going along because we want to go. Okay, so there's that. Now, I want to talk about something else. I promise we're going to get into some scriptures, but this is just good stuff. Okay, my Artza box came. My Artza box. Artza is a company out of Israel who, during COVID, they were trying to find a way to help the local artisans in Israel to continue to make money when COVID broke out. Well, now you got the war and they got all kinds of things going on. So if you want to help support Israel, this is such a good way, and it's so cool. They have it like a subscription. So once a quarter, they send out a box, and they have a theme, right? I'm sure this is, I just barely opened it, but I haven't looked inside it. I just opened the, cut the tape and stuff. But it's a box usually about a region of Israel or the time of year. And I bet this is a Christmas one. I'm just guessing. So you have a picture of all the artisans on here and kind of a letter. If you're watching the video versus just listening, I'm holding up, kind of the introductory here. This is the Holy Land Delivered, Holy Land Holiday. So this is the contents of, you get a whole booklet and showing the artisans and what they do. I'm holding it up if you happen to be looking at the YouTube video. And this tells about the people and each product that you're getting. Okay. And it comes packaged in a nice box. So here's, and you and I are finding out about this at the exact same time. So let's see what we have here. And I know some of you enjoy it. Okay, winter fruit infusion, pineapple, apple, cranberries. So brew a tablespoon of infusion in boiling water for 5 minutes, filter and drink. You can also eat the brewed fruit. Ingredients: dried sweet pineapple, dried sweet apple, dried sweet cranberries. So this is all cool, and it's right from it says Bethlehem of Galilee, Israel. Well, that's interesting because Bethlehem isn't in of it's not in Galilee, but it's a product of Israel, product of Israel. So we have that. Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to actually do that tonight for sure. Okay, here's potato seasoning mix. So you have a mix here for cooking, and you get all the instructions of how to use it in this book, and recipes and different things. And this is out of Israel, and it's awesome. Okay, we have that. That's cool. Let's see, what's this little box here? It says Lavido, inspired by nature. Let's take a look here. How do we open this? Brother. See, this is what happens when you try to do something live. But let me open it. Let me open it here. There we go. Okay, let's see what we have here. I'm sure there was a better way to open this. But we have this okay, there's a facial serum of some sort, hand cream, okay, and what else is in here? And we have foot cream, and let's see, this is born in the pastoral landscapes of northern Israel and driven by a passion for botanicals and natural wellness, Lavido merges traditional herbal wisdom with modern science. Our products epitomize purity and environmental care. Embrace the Lavido, touch daily for inseparable beauty and well-being. So beautiful hand cream, foot cream, and it looks like a facial thing. And then you'll get the information if you ever want to, get more. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so we have that. That's awesome. I'm going to remove some of the packing. Oh, my son gets this box and he made this. So this is a mosaic making kit, and it's the Star of David, and he actually did it. It took him a few hours. Sue will love doing this. She does these, and this is so it has all the instructions, all the ingredients, and you make your own mosaic of the Star of David. So that's really cool. I love that. And this is made in Israel. That's all it says there. So that's cool. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Holy Land winter candles. Okay. In the ancient city of Safed, nestled in the hills of Galilee, skilled craftsmen create candles to bring the light of the Holy Land into your home. Our candles are dipped in the age-old traditional manner, made from natural beeswax. Their flame burns clear and bright. And then it just talks about. So this is from the Holy Land, guys. Think of that. It's so cool, so cool. These are ahava stones. I have no idea, but I love stones, so I got to see what these are all about. Ahava stones. Ahava stones bring words and emotion to life through the timeless beauty of Jerusalem stones. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is already one of my favorites. I'll find out what this says, but this is an ahava stone. It has Hebrew written on it, and let's see what it says here. It looks like the inscription is, "At the end of the light, there is more light." How cool is that? Each piece, etched with meaningful phrases, offers a serene and uplifting presence. enhances any space with its quiet strength and grace. By combining the enduring stability of stone with the power of heartfelt messages, Ahava stones foster a sense of peace and inspiration, creating a comforting and hopeful atmosphere in your home, in one's environment. And yeah, at the end of the light, there is more light. That's what that's etched in. Anyway, and there's more. So that's cool. I love that. Let's see. It looks like there's one more thing. And these are let's see. It's all in Hebrew, so I don't know, but they look so good. I think they're hazelnut. They're date and cocoa balls filled with hazelnut butter. Oh, baby. Okay. That looks good. That looks good. All right. So that's it. That's the Arts a Box. Again, the Christmas time is amazing for the Arts a Box, but every quarter they send one out. And I'll put the link to that as well in the comment section. So I'll have Legacy Tours and I'll have Arts a Box. And you do get a discount, and I'll put the discount code in there for Arts a Box. Okay, so that's cool. All right, let's do something here where we dive into the scriptures a little bit. I'm in Ether 13. I want to talk about the New Jerusalem, and I want to talk about the revelations given to Ether and what he saw. I think this is so significant. And now I'm in chapter 13, verse 1. And now I, Moroni, I proceed to finish my record concerning the destruction of the people of whom I have been writing. For behold, they rejected all the words of Ether, for he truly told them of all things, from the beginning of man, and that after the waters had receded. So I love that right off the bat, because this is more evidence that we have in the Book of Mormon of the universal flood. They're professors at BYU. They're CES people that go, flood's regional. Some of you'd know really well. I've actually had a little bit of a debate with one who just felt like the flood was a regional thing, but I think this is very strong evidence, scriptural evidence. We have physical evidence everywhere that there was a universal flood, but scriptural evidence. And after the waters had receded from off the face of this land, it became a choice land above all other lands, a choice land of the Lord. Wherefore the Lord would have that all men should serve him who dwell upon the face thereof. And this has meaning for today, right now. If we're not serving the God of Israel in this land, we are jeopardizing our own salvation, but the salvation of others, because the curse, collectively, the curse could come, because wherever there's a blessing, there's a curse. And the blessing is if you obey the God of Israel and worship him and him only, then he'll basically have your back and the back of the land. He'll protect it. And if you collectively reject, he'll cut you off from his presence. Okay. Verse 3, and that it was the place of the New Jerusalem, which should come down out of heaven. Okay. And you can go to Revelation 3 on that and see that. And that it was the place of the New Jerusalem, which should come down out of heaven, and the holy sanctuary of the Lord. Both Ether saw the days of coming. Behold, Ether saw the days of Christ, and he spake concerning a New Jerusalem upon this land. And he spake also concerning the house of Israel, and the Jerusalem whence Lehi should come after it should be destroyed. after it should be destroyed, it should be built up again, a holy city unto the Lord. Wherefore it could not be a new Jerusalem, for it had been in the time of old. But it shall be built up again and become a holy city of the Lord, and it should be built unto the house of Israel. And that's the temple to be built on the Temple Mount. It's one of the last things that has to happen before Jesus comes. And so many things are aligning with that, in my opinion. We have to have the major war, the war, we call it Armageddon. I know some people feel like the Ezekiel war, or in Ezekiel 38, 39, the Ezekiel war is different. I think it's the same. And it's also where we have the two prophets, the candlesticks, the two olive trees. All these events, in my opinion, are simultaneous. But we have to have the building of the temple. And I believe that's on the Temple Mount. Okay. But when it talks about the city and people populating it again, that has happened and it's continuing to happen. This is why I strongly recommend that if you get a chance to go to Jerusalem, however and Israel as a whole, you will. I won't promise, but a very, very, very good chance that you will feel the significance of not only that area in the past. That's obvious. You're going to feel the Savior walked that. He walked that land. He walked those areas. Well, if you get there, you'll be in his footsteps. And that is so powerful. But you'll also get a witness, in my opinion, of the future of that Jerusalem and how significant that's going to be. Okay? Verse 6, and that a new Jerusalem shall be built upon this land unto a remnant of the seed of Joseph, which things there has been a type. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think we're talking about two new Jerusalems here. We're talking about one first in verse 3 that's going to come down out of heaven. That's Christ. That's when Christ brings his kingdom. And that is a new Jerusalem, but I would say it's the new Jerusalem. Now, a new Jerusalem is going to be the center of the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's the kingdom of God on earth. And so the kingdom of heaven is different, in my opinion. That's what comes down from heaven. That's what Christ brings. That will be the change from a telestial to a terrestrial glory of the earth. And that is the new Jerusalem that we read about in Revelation that will come down out of heaven. So I think it gets confusing, and the way I've sorted out in my mind is there's a new Jerusalem, which is the kingdom of God on earth, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its headquarters, if you will, where everything goes out from there. And then the kingdom of heaven is when Christ comes. This is the church of the firstborn. This is when everything changes, guys. And this is the day that we're looking for. This is what we watch for. This is what the name of the channel, Watcher Palmer. We're watching for these things to happen. So back to verse 6. And that a new Jerusalem should be built upon this land unto the remnant of the seed of Joseph, for which things there has been a type. For as Joseph brought his father down into the land of Egypt, even so he died there. Wherefore the Lord brought a remnant of the seed of Joseph out of the land of Jerusalem, that he might be merciful unto the seed of Joseph, that they should perish not, even as he was merciful unto the father of Joseph, that he should perish not. Wherefore the remnant of the house of Joseph shall be built upon this land, and it shall be a land of their inheritance, and they shall build a holy city unto the Lord, like unto the Jerusalem of old. And they shall no more be confounded until the end comes, when the earth shall pass away. Okay, now this is interesting. This is my take on this. So this gets back into tracing the heritage, the legend, and the tradition of Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ in Great Britain, because there's a tie to the 10 tribes. The northern kingdom has been referred to as Ephraim. Even though there were 10 tribes, Ephraim was the main tribe. And so it just became the catch-all was the tribe of Ephraim. And we read that in Isaiah, we read that in Jeremiah. It's Ephraim and Judah, basically. So Ephraim was one of the sons of Joseph. So a remnant of Joseph is not only, the descendants of the Lamanites, but it's others that came here from Great Britain and other places. And as you become a member of the kingdom of God on earth, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you'll get a patriarchal blessing. And many of those blessings, all the blessings tell you which tribe you're from. And most are from the tribe of Ephraim. Ephraim. Okay? So this has so many ramifications. So when we think of, how do we fit in? Our ancestors came from England, Scotland, Wales, other places in Europe, Northern Europe. They come here to America. Well, they're every bit as much part of a remnant as the descendants of the Lamanites would be, in my opinion. And building up Zion, building up the New Jerusalem, began with the prophet Joseph Smith. It just works. It just works. And every place that the saints established became the New Jerusalem or Zion. And ultimately it was Salt Lake City. So, well, that's where it is now. Now, some feel that that Jackson County is still in play, and you know what? Could be. My personal feeling is no. I think that ship sailed. The Lord said, "I accept your offering, and I require it at your hands no more." That's what He said concerning building up the New Jerusalem in Jackson County. But I could be wrong on that, and I'm totally open to that. But I don't like to look beyond the mark, so to speak. We have so much in the Book of Mormon, the restoration, and everything's that we're blessed with right now, and temples that dot the earth. So when we think of, let's get to verse 9. And there shall be a new heaven and a new earth, and they shall be like unto the old, save the old have passed away, and all things have become new. And then cometh the New Jerusalem. Now, to me, that's the one out of heaven. That's when things change. That's when we have a new heaven and a new earth. And then that's the millennial reign, in my opinion. Now, it could also refer to when the earth is celestialized at the end of the 1,000 years. But the earth will be changed during the millennial reign. It will be changed. And sickness and death and big pharma and bad food will be done away with. Conspiring men and women who want to control and destroy people, that will be gone. That will be gone. But until then, we have to deal with it. And we deal with it with a New Jerusalem in the sense of the restored gospel of Jesus Christ. So that's my take on that. I love the Book of Ether. I think it's has some of the greatest doctrinal teachings, and they're the most ancient. They're the most ancient, dating back with the Jaredite nation that ultimately were destroyed. So I think that's it for this video. I love you all. I hope you got to see some of these things. I will leave the link for the Artsa box as well as Legacy Tours, the Portugal trip, and check it out. And let's see if we can do some traveling together. It would be awesome. And then if you're interested in going to Israel, probably in February-ish sometime, small group, a bit adventurous, being flexible with certain places we may not be able to get to, but hopefully we can. We have to be flexible. There's so much to see right in Jerusalem, Old City Jerusalem. There's so many things just right there, but we definitely are planning. I would plan on going to Galilee. Right now you can. Probably can't get up way north, but you can get there and see so many things that would be so uplifting. Sometimes if you just wait to the perfect opportunity, that perfect opportunity never comes. So God bless. Have a happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before then. Thanking God for all of our blessings. We're a blessed people. We are just, our guts, our hearts are just ripping apart thinking of our little Miss Jane who passed away last spring, late winter, early spring. And we were with them last Thanksgiving, and she was probably as happy and smiley and funny. And that's really the last time I saw her awake. So we just, if you've lost a loved one, and I hate to use the word lost, but it's just for the sake of just talking, you know what I'm talking about. They're not lost, but if you've had that happen to you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just, it just doesn't go away. And even though the faith and the understanding of everything being made right, everything being restored, including relationship and understanding, and just instantaneously having her just download everything she's gone through, and I can download everything I've gone through, and we can just communicate perfectly and have everything restored. I know that's going to happen. But it hasn't happened yet. And so we just look at pictures till we don't want to look at them anymore. We think of the good times till it just, I get angry still. And it's not like I get, violent or mad like it, but I just, I feel like I got ripped off, and I know so many go through so much more, and I know she's in the arms of Jesus. I know it, and I know I'll see, and we will see her again, and we'll be together, and things will be restored. I know that, but it doesn't change the separation, and I think these separations are. They're essential for sanctification, at least for me. Maybe other people don't need to go through it. I hope you don't need to, but I did, and it's quite a process. God bless. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.